All right, welcome back everyone. Yeah, it's been a while since I made my last video, but when you want to find time to work on your hobbies, you just can't seem to find the time. But we found some time, and the project that I picked for today is a simple sawbuck. So firewood season is upon us, and I have to get out into the forest and start cutting the firewood for the winter. And I thought this would be a nice addition to our firewood processing area. So glad you could join us. We hope that you enjoy this video. And let's get started in building this simple sawbuck. These are the 2x4s that I've salvaged from job sites and out of dumpsters. With the way lumber prices are right now, it pays to save whatever you can, and after I pull the nails and run it through the thickness planer to get rid of the pink, I think we'll have enough for the sawbuck. So with the lumber that I had, it worked out that I could get 12 pieces at 43 inches and 2 at 83. So now we're going to quickly run them through the thickness planer just to clean them up a bit. After a bit of planing, we got some serviceable 2x4s for the legs and for the cross braces, and we got rid of that horrid pink, and we're going to lay them on the bench and start the assembly process by drilling some holes. Alright, well, once again, you can find lots and lots of different types of sawbucks on the internet and different types of measurements, but you've always got to keep in mind that you got to build what works for you, and these are measurements that I kind of thought would work for me. So I've come up with approximately 40 inches high, which is a nice height that you don't have to lift the log overly high to get it into the crotch of the X frames. And I kind of thought that measurements from one side of the X frame to the next would be 16 inches. That would give you a 16-inch bolt. And then from this side you would do your first cut. Whatever is left of the log would fall down, and then you would proceed to cut to the left, and you would get 16-inch bolts. Now, this is a theory, of course, and we'll have to try it out in the field, but I thought maybe we would try building this. So this is the overview of side view of the sawbuck, and we'll get into the measurements of the X frames next. So what I could get out of the salvage lumber were the following pieces. For the X frame, it's approximately 40 inches tall total. Again, nice and easy to lift the log in, not too overly high. You can adjust that as you see fit. Approximately 12 inches from point to point, and then the log will sit nicely in the crotch of the X frame. So what I could get out of the lumber were 43 inches for the X frame, so you need 12 of those, 12 at 2x4x43. And then you need two longer 2x4s at 83 inches for the support and cross beams. And this will get you enough to make 6 X frames and an 83-inch long sawbuck. So once again, it pays to save everything, and I've got this collection of nuts and bolts and washers and miscellaneous hardware, and managed to find 6 bolts, 12 big fender washers, and 12 regular washers, 3/8, and some lock nuts, which will help fasten the X frames. Alright, so for the X frames, I wanted them to be about 40 inches from the bottom to the top so that when you load your log it's not too high. About 12 inches across to hold a half decent sized log, and then the cross frames or the cross pieces here will be screwed into the X-frame, and the bolt will be about 14 inches from the top of the piece of 2x4 to right about here, which is about 14 inches. So that should be a comfortable height to work at. So the bolts that I managed to find in my parts bin are 4" by 5/16, and so I'll drill a 5/16 holes through the 2x4s at 14 inches and then centered on the 2x4. So we got all 6 X-frames bolted together, and I've set it at 12 inches, which is kind of what I'm thinking is a good number. And we want to find where we have to place the cross brace. So we've drilled the hole at 14, and this measurement actually ends up being 15 1/8. So we'll lay them all out at 16 inches apart and make a line at 15 1/8 and screw on the cross braces. Alright, well, we made our marks at 15 1/8 on the first leg, and then once we flip it over we'll make the 15 1/8 mark on this one, and we'll square it up as we go. We're going to put some 3" wood screws here. So the idea is from this point all the way to here will be 16 inches, so that you will get yourself a 16-inch log to split. So I made some spacers to make it equal, and it works out to be 13 1/8" spacer. Now your measurements might be a bit different, but that's what works for me. So let's start putting the cross braces on. Alright, well, we've got it all screwed together. So on the opposing side it is screwed into this member of the cross frame, and on this side it's screwed into this one and all the way down. So we've got that all screwed together. Let's stand it up and see if it works. So now you can see where I was headed with the 16-inch measurements. So if you put your log in the V-notch and line it up with the end of this piece here and run your chainsaw along this piece here or thereabouts, you'll get a 16-inch bolt that you can split. And theoretically it'll just drop into the opening and land on the cross beams. That's the theory anyway. But we'll only really know once we get it out to the forest, and you carry on down the log. And this is made for an 8-foot log, but you can do anything you like, I guess, depending on what you're comfortable with. So the first test run of our Simple SAWBUCK seems to have worked. The end portion of the log fell nicely to the ground there, caught in the crotch of the X-frame, and subsequent cuts results in a 16-inch bolt. Now this is only a 4 to 5 inch log, and it might be a bit different with a larger log, but I think it's safe to say that our test run, or initial run of our Simple SAWBUCK, less than a sawbuck, is a success. Well, we tried it on a 8-inch log or 8 to 9-inch log, and with the same results, so happy with that. Yeah, I think this is going to be a nice addition to our firewood processing area. Alright, well that concludes today's video. We hope that you enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun making our Simple SAWBUCK for less than a sawbuck. Now, mind you, if you had to buy all the materials, it would be certainly more than $10. So keep in mind that I salvaged all the lumber and the screws and the nuts and the bolts. That's why it's less than $10. But we're glad that you could join us, and if you enjoyed this video, we would love it if you would subscribe, like, and share, and we want to welcome the new subscribers that have joined our channel. We appreciate you coming along for the ride, and hopefully we'll see you again on the next video coming soon. Thanks for watching.